Hey, what is going on, you guys? My name is Rage, and we are back today with a quick video in regards to the new Avengers team and whether or not they are going to be the locks in terms of the team that we should be building up or waiting further for additional information. Because we know these trial events that have just concluded, especially most recently Black Cat. I mean, we don't really know if the Nowhere team was the best until we actually got the event to come live and we actually got to see, obviously, the big stark difference between them and Sinister Six. So, I mean, even then, we knew exactly which characters to build up at that point, and there are definitely priorities that we need to take advantage of, right? Like, for example, Nowhere, we knew that with Nova, Thor Infinity War, Star-Lord Annihilation, these three were going to take precedence over Cosmo and Korg, and as a result of that, we could build them lower. And with this team here being less than 800k in total power, we were able to maximize all the milestones that were for the event. We were able to get a top 3,000 ranking free to play. In addition to that, we were able to also unlock a 4 yellow here of Black Cat, likely going to be a 5 yellow or beyond because of where we rank. So, I mean, we actually don't need too crazy of an investment if we're able to find that compromise between a healthy balance of infusion of gold and gear to bring up. But now that kind of brings me into my discussion here on the new Avengers, because to be quite honest, now that we have all the kit reviews and with Tiger's kit coming live as of yesterday's update, they're pretty underwhelming to say the least. This is a war defense team, so I can definitely understand the frustration from folks not wanting to build this team up. I mean, generally these newer teams are supposed to be taking over the meta, and they're pretty impressive. But I mean, I'll be honest, guys, this is a pretty subpar team overall. I mean, they have some decent stats, but I mean, they're not really doing anything that's kind of meta breaking or game changing. And keep in mind, they are going to be a war defense, so that means even if you build them up, we're not going to be getting a lot of value outside of them just being slotted on that defensive side. But again, with that confirmation, with them being in the legendary mix and being required for the next event, that's where the pressure now comes, right? Having said that, guys, I definitely think that with every team, there's going to be less important characters to bring up, and I feel like with the reworks to both Agent Coulson and the Thing, I mean, they've definitely received a lot of stat increase, which is really good. Especially Coulson, he deserved it, and as well with him being a pretty iconic MCU character, so that was a huge shout out to them. But the newer characters are always going to take priority over the older ones, and for that reason, Mockingbird, Ronin, and as well as Tigra, for sure, they're just heads and shoulders better than the Thing and Agent Coulson. So I caution you guys, we have this event that's coming up in a couple of days that was outlined in yesterday's blog post. I am going to slowly bring up Coulson and Thing, but I'm probably going to cap them the same way that I capped the lower level characters. Even if I go back and show you my Masters of Evil team, this was needed for the Nova trials. I mean, really, Kang was obviously the biggest one that I kind of built into just because of the fact that he was needed for Dark Dimension 6. But just to show you guys some context, this team right here got the job done. We were able to hit every milestone, go through the majority of difficult 8 and the activated Scourges or packs. And as you can see, I didn't bring a single one of them past level 80 outside of the exception of Kang. So that's kind of what I'm alluding to here, guys. I feel like there's going to be a lot of frustration in building up this entire team, but keep in mind, they're going to be, at the end of the day, outside of this event, they're going to be a war defense team. So I think the biggest reminder here is just not to overinvest. I'll probably bring up Agent Coulson and the Thing maybe to level 70, 75. But it's going to be Mockingbird, Ronin, as well as Tigra that's honestly going to be doing the bulk of the workload, especially for the next unlock. And remember, you can build these teams up as high as you can, but at the end of the day, they're truly just translating to shards, right? If you look at the events here, I think we still have it here. That's perfect with Black Cat. I mean, the ranking at the end of the day is ultimately going to be, determining what the red star you're going to be getting free to play, as well as the shard count. So I mean, honestly, if you're in this mix here, this 1 to 3% to the top 10, 15%, I mean, yes, there's a big difference in shards, but that's not something you can't just get over time with just having a mediocre team, as opposed to having the strongest and highest built new Avengers, right? And as you can see, they're all this range. They're all getting you a relatively around a 3 red to a 4 red, right? I mean, for it to truly count, would be if you're in the top 50, so that way you can get a 5 red on the featured legendary character right from the get-go. So having said that, guys, I mean, I'm probably going to bring this team up close to what I've done with my past 2 teams, which is that 700 to 800k maybe, because I feel like I'm going to put more emphasis on Mockingbird and Ronin, and as well as obviously Tigra. But I hopefully there's going to be some changes to Tigra. If you guys looked in yesterday's kit review, unlike these characters here, generally they're pretty healthy. I mean, we see, don't have it unlocked, so we can't see the energy cost, but Mockingbird and Ronin's cooldowns for their abilities are actually pretty healthy. They're pretty standard. Tigra, her special costs like 7 energy, and her ultimate's 8 energy. It's just going to be very detrimental to this team. Mind you, Mockingbird can also grant energy for the team, but it's just not going to, it's going to be really sluggish once you use Tigra's abilities. And she's going to be a big part of their survivability as she's applying a lot of speed up and evasion. So that'll be interesting. I also caution you guys to build this team up because it could be one of the few times where maybe the second team that they offer is going to be important. I mean, we kind of saw this with Red Hulk's War Scourge, where they allowed us to have a variety of the Wave 1 Avengers, but as well having his Guardians. I mean, we could see that for sure. Could this be the first time where we can be utilizing a second team unit to have some hybrid theory crafting with new Avengers? There's a good chance. Maybe they can't follow the script anymore. I mean, Masters of Evil was clearly the favorites with Quicksilver for the unlock of Nova. Nowhere, without a doubt, was the mandatory team to have for the Black Cat Trials. But for this event, maybe this is the first event that we'll have where we need to utilize both the new Avengers in addition to whichever team they have. And I'm speculating as well, because we see all this synergy with S.H.I.E.L.D., it could very well be a S.H.I.E.L.D. tag, we see that synergy countless times through all these different characters. Whenever, this character, new Avenger or S.H.I.E.L.D. character does drop below the 50% threshold, there's going to be some bonuses there for the S.H.I.E.L.D. characters. I can see that happening. A lot of these new Avengers are S.H.I.E.L.D. It's whether or not they would give us that benefit as well. And the reason I bring up S.H.I.E.L.D. is because, some of these characters are definitely super under leveled, especially with the Secret Avengers also being out of the meta now. Some of them being classified as S.H.I.E.L.D. Obviously, you don't see Captain Sam here, but I mean, that's definitely a possibility, I think. So that's why I think, guys, for the time being, there's going to be an event that runs in a couple of days here. I think actually tomorrow, where we can start bringing up some of these fellow new Avengers. And I would slowly do that if I were you guys, just because we may want to be cautious on this because of the fact that there might be an actual relevant second team that we can utilize. This full team synergy, I just don't see it working too well on an offensive standpoint. Even if there are war buffs active, it just seems like something's missing unless they do another update to their kit. But those are my thoughts, guys. That's my game plan. I'm going to slowly bring them up and probably cap them at maybe 70, 75 with my gear. And then just because I at least have a war defense team that we can utilize. But as well, I just don't want to overinvest. I think that's a key thing right now, especially with them pretty much only being required for legendary, and outside of that, you're not going to find much value outside of war. So let me know what you guys think in comments below if you guys agree or disagree, but that's going to be my game plan. At least that will save resources in the long run. Hope this helps you guys. Thank you as always, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.